Welcome to the Godzilla cocktease.
Woo!
Now, granted, I love that aspect of this movie, and to circle back around, the reason why this podcast exists is because of this movie.
Is it this one?
Ultimately,
Yeah, that's fair.
because this reawakened my love of Godzilla.
Yeah, getting shouted at by a giant monster in the movie theater.
Dude,
You loved that.
Dude, I fucking went and saw this movie like 3 or 4 times. It's so good.
Yeah, I waited until it came out on DVD, and I still didn't watch it then.
I love this movie to death, and granted, I'm the type that appreciates like building up to the big moment. I need to stop. I can't gesture with my right hand. It hurts. Anyway, I got attacked. Gordon got me. Let's just say that.
And you're still walking? How?
He let me off with a warning.
Okay.
And by warning, he broke my wrist. Anyway, so, this is just like, this movie's a nostalgia trip for me because it's what got me to buy classic 54, the Japanese version. It's what got me to buy a bunch of Showa and then proceed to watch Ghidorah and hate it. And ultimately it spawned the trilogy that is part of the reason why I even started this podcast to begin with. Because I don't think Godzilla vs. Kong had come out when we started this.
No, it was, I think it was after when we watched Raids again that it was out.
Yeah.
Or it was when we watched King Kong vs. Godzilla. It was
And we didn't watch
really
it
early.
We didn't watch it for a while. Well, because we didn't have access to it.
I mean, I watched it when it came out on Blu-ray.
Oh, well, yeah, but
And then we watched some garbage, and you're like, can we just watch something good?
yeah, no, but I didn't get to see Godzilla vs. Kong for a while. But anyway, this trilogy means a lot to me.
It means more than the Manilogy?
Everything means more than the Manilogy. My ex-girlfriend means more to me than the Manilogy.
Can't believe it.
And I don't talk to my ex-girlfriend, so let that sink in. Fuck Manila. You see, I'm apathetic on my girlfriend. I hate Manila. My ex-girlfriend. Not my current girlfriend. I don't have a current girlfriend. Not that it matters to clarify that, but I don't have a girlfriend that I feel nothing for. I have an ex-girlfriend I feel nothing for. But I hate Manila. Manila sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got a 2-hour movie to watch.
Fuck, we do. Bye. Yeah, alright, sorry.
I was waiting for you to say something.
I mean, the Godzilla cocktease has reached its climax.
Hooray!
I'm into it, but that's me. So...
Oh, by the way, spoilers. This movie's 7 years old, but spoilers.
Yeah?
Just saying.
Alright, I mean, if you haven't seen the Legendary Trilogy, what? Okay, well, I would say, why are you here? But, like...
Because they want to know the follow-up to what happened in '98. This is clearly
not a follow-up
This is clearly a sequel.
Not even close.
It even started in '99.
Oh.
Coincidence? Perhaps.
Probably.
Anyway, so this movie starts in 1999 when, like, there's this family in Japan and they're working on this nuclear power plant.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it starts before that. There's a montage of them blowing up Godzilla in the 40s.
Yep. 50s.
Was it the 50s?
Yes, because it's after the first nuclear submarine reaches the lower depths of the ocean. That's what wakes them up.
Gotcha. See, this was 2 hours ago, man. This was a long time ago.
Yeah, no, totally.
So anyway, they try to blow Godzilla up. They find bug cocoon, something. Bug cocoon escapes, is now in the
power plant.
In the power plant.
We watch Bryan Cranston be an actor because he's an actor.
It pulls its best Earth Eater impression and just kind of sucks the plant down. And then...
Yep. It's a good time. Sorry, I needed to prepare the score sheet. Yeah, no, it sucks up everything, including all the radiation. And then we cut to our child character grown up, and he's come back.
Quicksilver is here in Japan to get his father out of jail.
Well, not quite yet. At first, he has to come back to his funny-looking child and his sister. Yes. For some reason, the couple from Godzilla 2014 is Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch from Marvel.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's
now...
Those two must be a couple.
It's not weird at all.
Those two must be, like, a couple.
I don't think they are.
Well,
this dude was only in, like, 4 movies.
Well, but that doesn't mean they're not a couple, or were a couple.
Nah, it's just coincidence.
I don't believe that. But anyway, they're about to get it on when they find out that Florence dad got arrested for trespassing.
Again. As he is wont to do.
And so we cut to Ford in a Japanese jail or police station. We watch a punk Japanese kid get cussed out by his parents, and then Bryan Cranston just kind of like goes like,
"Hi, son, it's me. You haven't seen me for 15 years."
Crazy that. No, he says 6.
I like to believe it was 15. I like to believe they never saw each other after the meltdown.
I mean, sure.
He just went back to America without his dad, and he's just like, "Well, I'm out of here.
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna go marry my sister now."
Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, and we enter Mr. Cranston's abode, and it's basically that crazy conspiracy theorist place with all the stuff pinned to the walls. It just doesn't have all the strings.
But he's got a bunch of newspaper clippings.
So much newspaper. And he's studying echolocation, and
something's been talking at the power plant.
We're gonna go find out.
Time to trespass yet again, but with my son.
Yep.
It's a father-son trespassing experience.
Yep.
It's great, and then they immediately get caught.
Yeah. And
he's like, the air, it's not radioactive. Wild.
And then there's a Mothra reference.
Yeah, and then that's kind of weird, but so they go back to their old house. They get some floppies. They find out that Brian's happy birthday sign is still hanging.
Somehow, 15 years later.
There's big old bugs in their house. None of them are Mothra.
Sadly. Despite the little makeshift sign saying Mothra.
But yeah, no, they get caught, and then the people are just like, you know what? Instead of taking you to jail like we normally do, old man, why don't we just take you to the facility?
Well, they had to take him to the facility because this time he had data on him.
Right, he had his floppy.
And like, okay, what did you see? And he's like,
let me see your floppy.
But yeah, and then he starts yelling at everybody. He's like, I want my son, and I want to know what the hell is going on here. And then, like, the lights dim, and he's like, that's not an earthquake, that is an electromagnetic pulse. The thing that happened before is going to happen again. Serizawa is like, this man might actually be important. Maybe we should look at his data. And then things get really bad, and they're like, well, what do we do now? They're like, kill it. So they set up the giant bug zapper, and they zap the cocoon thing,
And it does nothing.
Nope, the Muto just comes out and goes, "Hi, everyone," and starts pulling on all the cables and shit. It's just like having a grand old time. Bryan Cranston falls, more or less.
Yeah. Anyway, the next day they're like, well, put him in the ambulance and then put him in the helicopter.
Oh yeah, well they're getting ready to load him in the ambulance and like the military shows up. It's like, you're Serizawa, you're the person who runs this stuff. Who do you need? And he just like kind of looks and then like points slowly and then turns around and goes, "Them," and it just hard cuts to them on
Does
the
he even
helicopter.
say them?
Yes,
I thought
he does.
I thought he just points.
No, he points and then says "them" because I thought he just pointed, but that's why I was paying attention to it. But yeah, so they take the dying man and his son, and the dying man dies, and it's very awkward for everyone involved. And so they get on an aircraft carrier, and they're like, it's a Muto.
But it can fly.
It's the massive, unidentified... terrestrial... Object? Really? It's object?
I'm sure it's object. I can Google it real quick.
Yeah, it's weird. And they're like, but it's no longer terrestrial, it is airborne.
Organism, I'm sorry.
Organism, okay. And like, but it's no longer terrestrial, it is airborne. And then you were like, so that would make it a MUFO, right?
Yes.
Massive unidentified flying organism. But yeah. Yeah.
So then they go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, we're sending you home, I guess.
Go to Hawaii. Well, as it turns out, we have to destroy a sub because it's tradition.
Except Godzilla doesn't get to destroy this one.
Nope. Instead, the Muto releases its secretions all over it. Nice greenish snot.
Hang on. So he picks it out of the water.
Yes.
And then carries it to the jungle.
Yep.
Of Hawaii.
It's
the
probably
Hawaiian jungle.
Probably the closest land.
Just saying, though. He picked it up out of the water.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's a... what?
Like an eagle.
It's like a 200 foot tall bug monster.
The sub was bigger than he was.
Debatable.
Anyway, yes, he secretes all over it. It's really gross.
It's very gross. And he starts eating all the fuel cores, and then they're like waiting on the aircraft carrier, and then Serizawa just kind of leaves and is like,
He's coming.
He's coming. I have to see him. The space titanium told me.
I read it on the back of the space titanium.
Yep. And then we get the whole like tsunami scene where, because Godzilla's coming, a tsunami is coming because he's pushing all that water. And we get to see his legs, his arms, and Muto causes some power outages. There's a weird child that gets separated from his parents. There's a lot of weird kids in this movie.
They were all weird children. I didn't like looking at them.
They weren't great.
You could have replaced them with planks of wood, and I would not have noticed a difference.
Nope, not at all. But yeah, so...
a singular dog survives the tidal wave.
Totally. Because it breaks his own leash.
Yeah. He's got some hustle and some muscle.
Meanwhile, all the people get washed away, and it's fine.
I think like a family escapes into I'm guessing it's a coffee shop.
Something.
And they climb up onto the roof, and there's just dudes with guns up there, and they're like, haha, we're gonna shoot Godzilla.
And we're gonna shoot Godzilla with pistol rounds.
And like Godzilla just proceeds to walk by them, and one of the dudes just has the most horrified look when he turns. He's just like, that didn't do anything.
Oh man,
what were we expecting?
Oh my god. And then we finally get to see full on Godzilla face, and he roars, and then it cuts.
Cuts to black.
Yep. Well, it cuts to the child.
Oh.
I mean, you probably closed your eyes because we had to stare at his face, and it just wasn't a good time. And, and then you get to see footage on the TV of them fighting, and...
Oh, during this whole thing, there's this really irrelevant thing of, like... So, Ford has acquired a child that got separated because they were getting on the train.
I kind of already mentioned.
Did you do that?
Yeah, I did mention it.
Okay,
but
whatever. I don't care anymore.
But anyway...
I'm not paying attention.
Either way, the military is incompetent and causes huge explosions, and it's a good time. And Ford manages to hitch up with the rest of the military because they're all... the entire fleet is just following Godzilla. He's literally a part of the fleet now.
Yeah, it's great.
The USS Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yep.
In the middle. He's the flagship.
Yep. And then eventually, they're...
Is this where the second Muto shows
Yeah,
up?
they're like, where is it? They're like, where you guys put all of your nuclear waste? And so they go to, I believe it's Yucca Mountain or something of that nature.
It's where all the E.T. copies are buried.
Yeah, and
there's a big gaping hole in it.
There's a giant hole in the back of it that everyone somehow missed.
And then just over yonder, there's a big old giant monster.
Heading to Vegas. Because she's got to go to Vegas before she gets knocked up and has to give birth to like 200 children.
I don't know. I like my explanation better. She thought her husband was in Vegas spending all their child's tuition money.
Entirely possible as well. But either way, Vegas gets wrecked. And
we don't get to see it, though. We see the inside of a casino. Lady Muto puts her face in it and says, hey, is my husband in here? No. Okay, bye. And then we just pan, and then she's outside of town.
Yep.
And just a trail of destruction is behind her.
Yep. It's great. And so they figured out that they seem to all be... They're all going to converge in San Francisco. Convenient, because that's where Ford's wife and kid are. So Godzilla at this point is like, fuck this shit. You assholes are too slow. I'm diving. I'm going deep and fast. And so they're like, well, we can't keep up with it. That sucks. We're going to get a nuke. We're going to get several nukes. And we're going to blow them up. Because that'll totally work.
Well, I thought the plan was they're going to take the nukes, get them out there as a decoy, track them to some place over yonder, and then blow them up.
More or less. But either way, they're going to blow them up with nukes. And Serizawa just like hands the captain of the ship a stopwatch, or not a stopwatch, a pocket watch. He's like, it doesn't work. It's like, yeah, it stopped. It was like it stopped. It's like 8:15 a.m. It was like August 6th, 1945. Whenever they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, he's like, it was my father's, making Serizawa no less than like 70 years old.
Doesn't look a day over 60.
Doesn't look a day over 50. What are you talking about?
Well, you know, my statement stands up still.
Regardless, so...
That does not sway the military.
Nope, they're like, we're gonna blow them up.
That was a cool story, Doctor, but we're still gonna do the plan.
Still gonna do the nukes. And he's like, do you have a better idea? And Serizawa was like, Godzilla will do it. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me?
And then he doesn't give any follow-up. I'm like, okay, so even if Godzilla does kill the monsters, like, what do we do about Godzilla?
Godzilla's like, is it just gonna be fine?
Godzilla exists to restore balance. That's what he does.
Sure. But yeah.
He's like the Pokemon Z. Whatever that guy's name was.
The Zygarde?
Yeah, sure, why not? He was that guy.
I thought Zygarde was just order.
No, he's balance. I don't know. He's a Gundam.
Whatever. Anyway, so, fuck, this movie's long. And there's
Ford gets on a train at some point with a bomb.
And he's riding the missile, and
he's got his cowboy hat and his lasso out. He's going, wee-haw!
Yeah, and then
he slaps the bomb and the mountain explodes. And they're like, ah, dang, stop the train.
No, the Mommy Muto has picked up the scent of the bombs, and they eats two of them, and the military picks up one.
Yeah, it comes in, it breaks the bridge, and it's trying to scoop it into its maw, but drops 2 fucking train cars.
Yeah.
And it just flows down a river.
Yep.
And I guess that's a good enough explanation as any.
Yeah, and so the military picks up the nuke, and they're like, we're gonna do the thing, and they have it on a ship, and then the male Muto, dives headfirst from the sky as planes rain from the sky. Because for some fucking reason, these morons put planes in the sky when they knew that these monsters have an EMP.
Look, planes have wings. Wings allow you to fly. It's fine. It is absolutely fine. Nobody got hurt.
Totally not.
Also, while the Muto is swooping down to collect its missile, they shoot at it with their guns.
Yep.
They're assault rifles, as if that was going to do anything.
It's fine. And there's a lot of incompetent uses of force by the military.
As always.
Yes. So the Muto, the male Muto flies off with the missile. It is like, for you. It's like he basically proposes with it. And we get the prelude to the freaky bug sex that no one wants.
I wanted it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I want to see everything.
I want none of it.
I want to know how she bedazzled that cave with her babies.
Oh, God. We have to sit there post freaky bug sex and watch her convulse and yell, basically yelling at the male Muto, "You did this to me!" as she's laying her eggs in weird, veiny...
I like to assume it's kind of like an old minigun with the bullet. Ass in the air and everything.
Oh, no. Fucking Gatling gun of eggs. That's terrible. No.
Wait, to make it better, the male is aiming it. He's taking the arms.
Oh, God. No. I don't want it. No one wants it. Anyway, they grab Ford because he's the EOD who worked on the bomb that the Muto stole.
Also the only surviving member of that train.
Yeah, they're like, well, we gotta get the bomb. We gotta disarm it, or we gotta put it on a boat. And they're like, and since they're doing the EMP thing, we have to do a halo drop. You know what a halo drop, right, Mr. Lieutenant Brody of the U.S. Navy?
Bomb squad.
Anyway, we all cut to being on a plane, and we jump out of the plane, and it's a really cool visual as we drop through the thunderstorm that's been going on. I think at some point Godzilla broke through the Golden Gate Bridge because they kept shooting him.
Yeah, I think that was before the male Muto took the bomb.
It was around the time when the male Muto took the bomb, because that's what causes Godzilla to come up. He's like, you're laying your goddamn eggs? I'm here to stop that shit. And, so the military basically blows up. They start shooting missiles at the bridge with the civilians on it. And they start shooting Godzilla, and it causes Godzilla to literally, like, walk through the Golden Gate Bridge, and it collapses. And Godzilla's like, you guys are fucking assholes.
Don't worry, the bus filled with children, they escaped. It was fine. They're the only people...
Do you remember the two children doing this?
Yeah, it was great. They saw the tank.
Waving their hands at each
They
other.
saw the tank pull up, and the most interesting thing they could do was start having a slap fight.
Yep. And then they're all screaming at Godzilla, even though Godzilla literally saved their lives. And, Godzilla has arrived on the scene. The special forces are there, and they get to the nest, and they drop the bomb, and they're carrying the bomb out, and Brody looks back, and is like, I gotta do something about these eggs. This is gonna be bad. And so he breaks open the conveniently placed fuel truck, and there just happens to be a flame nearby, and it explodes.
Yeah, it's great.
And the female Muto is like, are you my fucking babies? Are you
There's a
kidding me?
disturbance in the force.
I felt it. I mean, everyone would have felt the explosion. Like, let's not pretend. And she gets in there, and she's like, they're all dead. And then Ford accidentally, steps on glass.
He's, shuffling backwards.
And you hear a glass breaking noise.
Do we?
That's... Either way, the Muto looks at him and goes, you did this. And I'm sitting there like, this monster is cognizant enough to understand this tiny human thing killed her babies?
Well, Godzilla was able to do it 16 years ago. Why can't she?
That was a different Godzilla, but whatever. We finally start getting fight scenes that last longer than 20 seconds.
Yeah, it was amazing. They put Godzilla in this movie. That was wild.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming, to be honest.
It's crazy. They kind of beat on him for a while, and then the male Muto just gets... He just gets bitch slapped.
He gets tail whipped into a building that falls on Godzilla. This
is fucking great. He just fucking, the Muto just, gets in, the wrong spot, and Godzilla's like, I'm tired of your shit, and just, tail slaps him. And yeah, and then the building falls on top of him, and he's like...
Godzilla looks up as the building's falling. He's just like, shit!
Damn it. I am the architect of my own destruction. And Godzilla takes a look at Ford, and is like, man, this shit's rough.
Thanks for killing the babies.
Good job.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. And then the smoke consumes Godzilla. And Mr. Ford keeps moving, I guess, and sees the female Muto fucking up the special forces. They're trying to defend the bomb, because if she gets the bomb, it could be bad. And Ford manages to get on the boat, start the boat, push it off from the dock, but it stops because the Muto is the Muto, and it comes down and is like, you foiled me again, you baby-killing bastard. And that's when Godzilla sneaks up behind the Muto. A fact that, yes, is baffling.
Yeah.
Grabs...
It's great, because when I said it, you're like, well, it was dark out. You couldn't see him.
It's dark out.
And I'm like, yes, you couldn't see him, but you could feel him coming. You would feel his heavy stomps.
That's fine.
He is shuffling through water.
He sneaks around on silent cat feet. Anyway, those tree trunks he has, cat feet. So he grabs the female Muto, then grabs her jaw, beams her head off, and then all the power comes back, and then Brody gets picked up by a helicopter,
and the goofiest man in a helmet. It's the goofiest
Yeah,
shot in that whole.
It's fucking great.
Because you're looking up there, you're like, okay, what's making the light? And he just like swoops into the scene.
Just this face with the weird mask, and they get Ford up there, and it blows up, and like it's funny because like Ford like falls unconscious, and Godzilla just goes, oh jeez, and just collapses.
That building's coming back.
Oh man, I did my best. Giant lizard out, and so
Ford gets to reunite with his family. Godzilla goes back in the sea. Everything was hunky dory afterwards, and
that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, that did it.
Yep.
Got some credits to roll, and
oh god, the credits were awful, and not the credits specifically. Every single warning about the exact same fucking thing in like 10 different languages.
Sometimes the same languages.
Well, yeah, because they repeated the same warning.
Yeah, it was great.
Multiple times. Anyway, let's rate this and get this over with. Monster Combat. Are we really gonna dock it points for the amount of Monster Combat?
I kind of feel like we should.
Okay.
I'm kind of thinking at max a 4. Because a lot of it's dark, and there's maybe one good move in it. And there's not a whole lot of it.
There's several good moves. I would say the combat was competent.
Highest I will give you is a 5.
I will give it a 5. That was actually what I was thinking. Visual effects. This movie is... It's pretty good looking, but also it's always dark.
Yeah, they kind of use darkness very liberally.
Yeah. And the CG doesn't look bad. There's some good visual effects, like them dropping through the thunderstorm is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's great.
And Godzilla looks great, even in darkness. The Mutos were like built to be in darkness.
Yeah, because nobody wants to see those.
Yeah, the Mutos suck.
I thought the tidal wave scene was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was alright.
I like the way the water gets sucked back and you get to see all the fish.
No, yeah. Yeah, that did happen.
8.
True. Plot.
Oh boy, there was a plot.
There was a plot. It basically had nothing to do with Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla was just kind of like...
Godzilla was an accessory.
He was a cameo.
Yeah.
In a movie named after him.
That's fine.
I think Muto got more screen time.
Well, yeah, because they're the monsters of this movie.
That's unfortunate.
It really is.
I guess this movie wouldn't have sold as much if they just called it Muto.
Yeah.
Featuring Godzilla.
Yeah. I personally think the plot of this movie is perfectly fine. It's just like an inverse of most Godzilla movies, where the military is the focus instead of an afterthought, and the monsters are in the background instead of being in the foreground.
Oh, they were certainly in the background. Oh man, the monsters are fighting again? What are the people doing?
Well, to be fair, the people are more relatable than the giant monsters.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Godzilla was more human than anybody in this movie.
Yeah, he'll be very human until we get to Godzilla vs. Kong, where he has to be the lizard.
6, 7 for plot.
I'll give it a 7. I think it's decent. The acting, perfectly good. I like Bryan Cranston a lot. Ken Watanabe was great. Ship Captain Man was Ship Captain Man. Ford was a military man. He was perfectly fine like that. Sister was fine. Children were awful. Every single child had the emotional capacity of a plank of wood.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. But yeah, Bryan Cranston was excellent. Ken Watanabe was great.
But were those guys in the movie all that much?
Not enough.
In terms of like people in this movie, I feel like they were one step higher than Godzilla.
Yeah.
6 or a 7. 7 or 8. One of those 3.
I'll go with 7. All right, bonus. There was no dub. Special mention.
I got none. There weren't any like running jokes with this one.
Not enough of it was funny, other than like, I kind of just want to like, no, I mean the entire point of this movie was basically just race to freaky bug sex.
Yeah, which they unfortunately glossed over.
Because they were going to give it to us in full force in the anime.
They didn't know about the anime.
But Toho did. Maybe.
I don't know. This is 3 whole years.
Maybe they saw 2014 and went, we can do
No,
freaky
this is
bug
4
sex
years before
better.
the anime.
They saw this movie and they were like,
okay,
we can make Shin.
What you're telling me is they made Shin to be better than to be better than 2014 because they made him like a little taller.
Yeah.
And then they're like
taller, but then they saw the Mudos and they're like, they kind of like glossed over the freaky bug sex. We're all about the freaky sex. Let's get the freaky bug sex going on in this, but make it animated so it's cheaper. CG animated.
Get Netflix to sign off on it.
Totally. I mean, it was the closest thing we had to a joke, and the problem is that it's actually a reference to something we watched previously.
Yeah. Yeah, I really can't think of anything else that was particularly memorable about this movie.
Yeah.
Well, if it has to go to the freaky bug sex, give it like a 1.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because I don't think we would have even called attention to it if we hadn't already watched City on the Edge of Battle.
We definitely wouldn't have latched onto it. Call it the Freaky Bug Sex prequel. 1 point. This total is not going to be very high. 14, 22, 27, 28.
It's on par with the first anime movie, I think.
No. First anime movie got a 29.
28, 29, it's all the same.
City on the Edge of Battle got a 27. So the average of the first 2 movies.
Oh, no.
But don't worry, Planet Eater drops it down because it dropped down to fucking 18.
Yeah, that show
It would have been a 14 without the successful freaky bug sex. That bothers me so much. That's really bad. Holy shit, this movie.
You know what the sad thing is?
What?
Planet Eater
Yeah.
is technically worse than Raids Again.
Hold on.
If we don't include bonuses, because Raids Again got a -3, I think.
-2 from No Ship Explosion. It would have been a 15 without bonuses. Fun fact, there was the 4 points for the successful freaky bug sex and a point for the dub. It would have dropped to 13 without bonuses. It would have been 2 points below Raids Again.
Amazing.
Not gonna lie, I'm not surprised by that. Anyway, we got our points for Godzilla 2014. We will see you at King of the Monsters, a better monster movie.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Can't wait to nuke Godzilla.
Yay.
Spoilers.